Let's go ahead. We'll just start with intros from our side. Then we'll run through kind of basic information. Who is MGT? What do we do? We'll talk appetite. We'll run through a demo of the platform. And then we'll wrap up with a Q&A. So along the way, if you have any questions, if you want to talk through anything, if I say something or you see something that just really grabs your interest and you want to learn more, please use the Q&A button down. Should be towards the bottom of your screen, probably right about here. Looks like a text box with question inside. Just click that and we'll take any questions towards the end of this program. So that said, Allie, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. My name's Allie Essian. I'm the head of partnership success over here. And my goal is to make sure that you, as our partners, are having a great experience and you have a human experience on a very modern platform. The things that we're doing here at MGT are incredible behind the scenes. There's no one else doing what we're doing on the market right now, and that's why we're considered the first neo insurer. So excited to have you on board and looking forward to working with you. Thanks, Dan.
Oh, that was awesome. And I'm Dan, as you may have heard. Really excited to be your MC today. And please use me as a resource as you get up and running with us. Always feel welcome to reach out. We'll share contact info in the chat towards the end of this as well. So always feel welcome to reach out if you have any questions, working on a submission, need some guidance, just want to talk shop in general. I'm always happy to do that. So don't be shy. Use me as a resource. So let's talk about MGT. We are the world's first neo insurer. And what does that mean? I find nobody really knows because that's what happens when you're the first at something. What that means for you is that we are built on modern technology to deliver a great experience for you, for our policyholders, for everyone involved in the process of quoting, buying, issuing, servicing, renewing insurance. We are focused on small businesses. We write a BOP on 100% ISO forms. I always like to highlight that because the ISO forms are really they're the most legally tested forms on the market. It's what all of our designations are based off of. It's what all of the licensing tests are based off of when they reference policy language. And so even though MGT may be a newer name that not everybody is familiar with just yet, you don't have the TV commercials, you can feel confident if there ever is a claim or a question, you understand how that policy will respond. Uh, what kinds of business fit with us? We're writing about 250 to 300 classes of business. Our appetite is pretty consistent from industry to industry, from class to class. Generally, we're going to be a great fit for businesses with 3 million in revenues or less. We can write up to 5 million revenue for professional and medical offices. For property, we'll write up to 2 million total insured value per location with up to 4 locations per policy. So that gives you a little bit more flexibility than I think you'll typically find in the standard market for small business. A lot of carriers might give you 2 mil TIV capacity per policy, maybe 3. We actually give you up to 8. So just depending on kind of where their property is and what they've got at each location, we can give you a little more flexibility there. We do write new ventures. We do write businesses with coverage lapses or no prior coverage. We can write businesses that have had some claims history. So don't think about us only for like the absolute least hairy risks that ever land on your desk. I mean, we'll take those too. Don't get me wrong. Send those our way. But if it's something that maybe is not like a perfect fit in that ideal standard market admitted kind of box, we can still more than likely take a good shot at it. So send those our way too. All submissions go in through our online platform, which I will show you here next. And I always like to highlight that when you're using that online platform, we collect 100% of the underwriting information that we need so that we're not going to ask you to do a bunch of accords. We're not going to hold your quote up until you complete 45 pages of supplemental applications. Once you get that quote back from the platform, that's a bindable quote, so you don't have to do 3 days of back and forth emails with an underwriter to firm things up either. Usually within about 6 to 8 minutes, you'll have logged in, started, and finished that quote. And then to get it over the finish line, all it takes is payment information. And as soon as that payment goes through, it's bound, it's issued. Within about 60 seconds, you'll have um, all those documents available to you. So if you've got a lender or a landlord who needs proof of insurance, you can shoot it over to them and then move on to the next thing on your to-do list. Sounds pretty awesome, right? Let's see how it works. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you.
I also just dropped the appetite guide for quick reference through this if you'd like.
That's an excellent resource. So I definitely recommend checking that out. Thank you for doing that. So before we jump into the platform itself, let me rewind just a little bit, take you into my favorite page in our website. Just get that opened up and then click into BOP Appetite. And this is a great resource for you. One thing that is just really, really helpful when you have a quick appetite question is our appetite chatbot named Amy. Amy is a great resource that's available to you 24/7, 365. Why that's important, I think, is because I've seen agents literally logging into our website, running quotes, binding those policies at 3 in the morning. If you need help at 3 in the morning, I'm not going to be the guy. I will be asleep getting recharged to be able to help you the next day. But I just always am in awe of that kind of like work ethic, that ability to really go the extra mile for the client, make sure their business is protected. And it's important, I think, to have those tools here to support you anytime you need that additional support. So if you have a quick appetite question, whether it's at 3 a.m. on during the week or anytime really, you can come in here and say, do you write sandwich shops in, let's just say, Philadelphia? And Amy knows that sandwich shops are a type of deli and knows that we do have appetite for those risks in Pennsylvania. So really good resource here. And then you do have that appetite guide as well. So one thing about MGT that you'll see as you continue to work with us is we're constantly growing. We're actually adding to our appetite pretty frequently. And so, if you've got 6-month-old appetite guide PDFs, probably out of date. So make sure you bookmark this page, and that way you can easily stay in touch with all the opportunities that we're opening up. Now let's get into the fun part. We'll just click sign in to get started, and then that'll take you into the dashboard. The dashboard does everything you would hope a dashboard would do. You can start quotes out. You can also manage quotes that you and your team have been working on. And if you click into the policies tab, you can access some of those self-service features that we talked about. To do that, just open up the drop-down box next to that policy and click View Self-Service. And then I always like to highlight this documents and communications page. This just brings a ton of value. It's got a full record of all of the policy transactions that have ever occurred and all the communications that have gone out. Sometimes I'll be helping out in our support chat. Someone will reach out and say, hey, I did an endorsement 3 months ago and now I need to go show it to the bank. Where do I find that? And the answer is you don't have to search through the 8 million emails that you've received since you ran that endorsement. All you have to do is go here, 2 clicks will get you to this page, and then you can just find that policy set documents endorsement, open that up, download it, send it to whoever needs to see it, move on to the next thing in your to-do list. You can also, in this page, create certificates. You can download the declarations page. And these features are available to policyholders as well. So it takes a little bit of that service work off your plate. if they're able to get in here and self-service. At the top of this page, we've got the payments tab where you can see payment history, file new payments, update payment cards or payment methods on file. And then we have claims where you can track claims, file first notice of loss, all that good stuff. Then to get back into the dashboard, we'll just click the name in the upper right-hand corner. And first thing we'll do to start a submission is select the industry. This is a great little tool all in its own right as well. It has some keyword search built in, so you don't have to memorize every single NAICS code out there. And it also knows our appetite on a class code level. So let's say we are working on a restaurant and we select catering. It's just going to come out and let you know that's not an appetite for us. On the other side of the coin, though, say we've got a barbecue restaurant, then that'll know, and we can just start the submission out. First thing we'll do then is put in the address. And I will say this thing has been a little finicky for me. The one on our main website works just fine, but this is in our demo environment, which is kind of like the backup servers. And so sometimes it takes a few tries to find an address that works. Now that we've got that pulled up, first question is, do you wish to insure any buildings at the location? We'll go ahead and say yes for that. And then follow-up question is, are there any other exposures in those buildings? That comes up pretty frequently. We're not a fit for those risks when that is the situation. And so when you answer yes, it'll just let you know straight up before you've really done a lot of legwork on the submission that that's not an appetite for us. Now, if that is the situation they're in, maybe it's a single tenant in a larger building, we could always say no and just cover the BPP risk there. Follow-up question then, if we do say no, there's only one exposure in that building, is if there's any builder's risk. Really similar story there. If there is builder's risk exposure, not an appetite for us. If there's not, then we can proceed with the quote. So we're all about getting you that answer as fast as possible. Even when that answer is no, we still would say we'd rather give you a quick no than go back and forth and, kind of tease you a little bit and then say no in the end anyway. Now, let me do a little TV magic so you don't have to watch me type in all the answers as we go, and I'll pull up a quote that's already been completed. So quoting with us is just 4 steps. In step 1, we'll enter in some basic information about that business. The description of operations and the address are pre-filling from the last page. We'll enter in the name, the phone number, gross sales. For restaurants, it does ask about alcohol sales, some information about the business owner, and then we can add any additional locations in this page too. We support up to a total of 4 locations. We'll click continue here. And then in the next page, this is where we'll set the effective date. We'll answer a couple more questions about the business, provide a little information about their insurance history. We do have a couple questions on this page that only show up for restaurants. We just want to make sure they haven't had any issues with the health inspectors, and that if they are a new venture, they've got a general manager with some experience. We'll click continue from here. And then the next section to tackle is the eligibility section. Now, this one is great because we're only asking what's relevant to the risk. So you can see for restaurants, we have got, count them up, 4 eligibility questions here. Really easy to just knock this out in a normal conversation with somebody without having it start to feel, a little bit more like an interrogation. Once we've got these questions answered, just click continue. We're all done now with step 2. And in step 3, we'll start to enter in some information about the location. Now, quick tip that I'll share on this page is I see this happen where someone will start a submission out. They'll say, yes, we need building limits in that first page we looked at, but it's actually a rental unit. We don't need building limits after all. You could restart the submission, but then you got to redo a bunch of work, and we don't want you to do that. And I see sometimes people will put in $1 as the building value, which just causes it to refer because we want to know why this building is only worth $1. The best way to fix that is actually in this top drop-down box. You can select business personal property only, and that'll remove the building information out. Then you just roll through the nice, easy BPP submission. But I'll leave the building information on there so you can see how easy it is. It's pretty straightforward. How big is it? What's it made out of? When was it built? What's the roof look like? There are some questions about what's going on inside. And this also does get a little bit more detailed for restaurants because we want to make sure they've got those hood systems in there and that they're being maintained. Um, Great feature on this page to highlight is we do have a built-in replacement cost estimate. This is here for your convenience. I do know though that sometimes you've got another number you're working with. The mortgagee might be pushing you, the policyholder might be pushing you. This is an open entry text box. You can put anything in here. If it's too far outside of what we think, the value should be, it may refer just to give us a chance to get in touch with the risk and make sure that we're rating it correctly. You can add any additional buildings in this page as well, and then click continue once you're all done entering property information. And in the next page, we'll add any additional insureds that need to be added. Once we've got that done, we are all set. We've actually answered at this point all of the rating and eligibility questions. Now all that's left is the fun part, adding in some optional coverages. So we'll click into step 4. And the optional coverages that you see in this page, the way it's set up is it's only going to show you coverages that we can offer to this policyholder. So you don't see in this list higher non-owned auto. That's generally not available for restaurants, but it is available for a lot of other classes that we're writing. And so we're not going to let you get terms back that you can't stand behind. So let's add a couple of these and then we'll click continue. For these optional coverages, there are some additional questions. We'll set limits and deductibles, and then we'll just click continue again. Pretty straightforward. I do always recommend adding this restaurants coverage. If you're working on a restaurant, it's going to bring a lot of value to that policy. We'll add all those and then click continue again. And now we've got everything checked off. So we can click see your quote. And when that little circle starts to spin in the middle of the screen, this is really where the magic's happening. Behind the scenes, it's running a bunch of different checks, it's scoring the risk, it's geolocating it. And that's what you might be waiting, sometimes days or even weeks, for someone to do if you just email them applications. But you can see here, we've got pricing back for you in seconds. MGT is a direct bill carrier. We've got pricing available in either quarterly or annual payments. For quarterly payments, it's very transparent what the first installment is and then what each subsequent installment will be. For annual payments, there is a credit for that, and it'll tell you exactly what that works out to be too.
Hey, Dan, we have a question. Aaron asked, what if a restaurant doesn't have open flame or fryers? Do we answer no to those questions? Will it make it ineligible?
That's a great question, Aaron. Thank you for asking that. If a restaurant doesn't have open flames or fryers, we actually like it more. So definitely send those our way. Behind the scenes, what'll happen is we actually change the class code that it's under to be a light service restaurant or restaurant low cooking. It's kind of what we call it. And that's honestly where a lot of things like coffee shops would go, where they're serving some food. There are some operations around food service, but they're not frying, they're not grilling. It's lower risk, which makes us like it more. So great question, Aaron. Keep those coming. The rest of this page, I'm sure everybody on this call has seen pages that look just like this a million times. So we won't spend too much time here. A couple things I will highlight though is just like other pages that we've looked at, this one will only show you bindable options. It's not going to let you get terms that you can't stand behind. So you can always feel confident when you're working through this that what you get is something that you can really confidently offer to the prospect. Um, We'll just kind of give this a quick scroll through. The other thing I'll highlight is we're not including automatically every coverage under the sun. A lot of people just don't really need these. And so we wanted to let you tailor that policy because nobody knows that risk better than you do. Once you've got everything dialed in, just click continue. And then in the next page, you'll see all those drop-down boxes now are grayed out. This is what we would consider to be the live version of the quote. You can click print quote, just takes all this, puts it into a nice, neat PDF you can send out as part of your proposal. And then once you've got everything dialed in, just click confirm and purchase. In the next page, you'll have the option to either send a payment link to the prospect or collect their payment information live. I've talked to a lot of agents who really like this payment link option. It fits really easily into their workflow. When someone does make a payment through that link, you'll actually get a notification too, so you know when that transaction occurs, if you have any follow-up work you need to do. And we'll also send them a couple automated reminders after that goes out. So if they're a little slow about it, we'll at least encourage them to get it in. I also know there are people out there who don't like to share credit card info over the phone, so you can completely sidestep that objection and keep that relationship strong and secure. If they are in your office though, or if they don't mind sharing their card information with you, you can always click purchase now. From here, it's pretty straightforward. Just select annual or quarterly, e-check credit or debit, enter in the payment information. Auto pay is automatically selected. You can always unselect it, but it does help retention to keep it on. So we encourage you to keep it on when you can. From there, a lot of the mailing information will pre-fill, just enter in their email address, agree that they are actually allowed to purchase the policy, and click submit payment. As soon as that payment goes through, the policy's bound, it's issued. Within about 60 seconds, you'll have access to all the documents. They'll be available to you and to the policyholder. Everyone will get receipts to let you know this happened. And then you're all set. You can move on to the next thing on your to-do list. So I think it always takes a little bit longer when I'm narrating along the way, but I think we got that down in about 12 minutes. It'll actually be faster when you're doing it without me. And lucky for you, the narration is not built into the platform just yet. But that's really what we're all about. It's taking the things that land on your desk that should be easy, making them just actually really easy so you can knock them out. Keep those people happy, keep those relationships strong, protect the businesses that are in your community. But don't spend all day on it either, because I know everyone on this call has got a packed to-do list and things will land on your desk all day long. So we want to make the things that should be easy for you really easy, so you have time and the mental bandwidth back to focus on everything else that comes your way too. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll stick around for another few minutes. If you have any questions, if there's anything you want to dig into a little bit more, please feel welcome to drop those in the chat. And if you stump me, I'll send you something. I don't know, a pack of pens or something. Thank you, Aaron. We look forward to working with you too.
Okay, well, I don't see any other questions or underwriting any, oh, let's see, underwriting email. Oh, yes.
Appetite questions. Excellent question, Aaron. I would actually say you'll get a faster response for appetite questions reaching out to our support team. Their email is just support@mgtinsurance.com. Reach out to Amy. She's very, very accurate, so you can feel pretty comfortable. The information you get back from Amy will be realistic and accurate itself. And also, please feel welcome to reach out to me too. I'm always happy to help with those questions.
So, Sandeep, to answer your question, no, we aren't open in California just yet. It is so close. We are on the final stages with the DOI. We will be opening New York and California pretty soon. We're on the final push to open, and so that's coming. Uh, let's see, signatures. Are there any signatures required on new business application? Dan, you want to speak to that?
There are not. No, we like to keep things easy and streamlined for you. So there are no signatures required. Will say though, I do work with a lot of agents that like to get those signatures, even though we don't require them. And I work in insurance too. Appreciate a good paper trail as much as the next guy. You can certainly print those applications out, have them signed, and retain them, but don't let us hold you back. We don't require that. Great question, David.
And back on the, yes, it is our paper. We
Yep.
are a carrier. We're not an
Yep.
MGA. We are a carrier, which also gives us authority and power to make changes and iterate on so many things quickly. We have some very exciting things coming up the last couple of months this year and the start of next year. We'll be rolling, I don't know, Dan, if you've already touched upon this, but we'll be rolling out contractor classes, admitted commercial auto, admitted LRO. So stay tuned for that, as well as opening up the states. I know. I'm excited too. I'm very excited. Yes, it's music to a lot of people's ears. So we have a fantastic product team. We're doing something very, very different, and we'll be able to offer some really great classes that you are harder to place. The other thing is we are not open in Florida or Hawaii, and we're not going to ever open those two markets. But Louisiana is not open at the moment. I'm not sure on that, or South Dakota. But New York and California are so close to being live. So um, stay tuned. Yes, you will have updates.
Oh, you'll know.
You'll know. There will not be, you'll see it everywhere. Yes, you will. Our agents will have you'll know when the day we open it. You'll get
Emails, phone
notifications.
calls,
Yeah.
carrier pigeons, horseback messenger, airplane flying in circles above your office. You'll know.
Yeah. So, and then we're doing a refresh on our platform that we be rolling out to the nation. We're piloting it right now with two cohorts of agents. So we're working out all of errors, bugs, anything that we can get as close to perfect before we roll it out to the nation. That should be happening shortly as well by this year. So excited to
Yeah.
be working with you all.
So stay tuned because there's a lot of great things on the way. Well, if any other questions come up, just real quick, I'm going to drop my email and my phone number here in the chat. Keep those close by and always feel welcome to reach out. If you have any questions, need some assistance or support, just want to talk shop, I'm here for you. And, here at MGT, we know that your success is our success. We only win when you win, and we want to set you up to win as much as we can.
Well,
So,
thank you all for
hey,
being here.
yeah, thank you all so much for taking some time for us. One question I get all the time is what does MGT stand for? And I think this afternoon it stood for Mighty Good Time. So I hope you had a great time too.
Oh my gosh. It was a good time. Thank you.